What's up, everybody? It's your host, Bryce. Got my boy Cam. All the hot sports takes y'all needed, we got it. Back again for episode 2. Last time you saw us, we were talking about the AFC conference. Today we got the NFC conference. It's July 17th, 2022. You know, it's the slowest month of sports. We still about a month out from the NFL starting up. Can't wait for that to get going. NBA Summer League just wrapped up. So sports is on the way, man. Sports is on the way, but we still got some more preview stuff for the NFL season coming up. So let's get to it, man. What you want to say, Cam?
Man, not much, man. Let's get into this NFC, man. It's a lot of
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
It's a
So
good
like
division.
we said, man, we got the NFC. You said we starting with the NFC South.
Yeah, we started NFC South.
All right, what team? I'll let you pick the first team. Go ahead.
Let's talk about these Saints, man, because
that's first on my list too. Come on, let's talk about the Saints, man.
a very, very, very interesting team, man. And this is who I got actually winning the division. Surprisingly, it might be a little
Time out. That's where I got winning too. Hey, another lock pick, man. If y'all listening, New Orleans Saints, winners of the NFC South for this 2022-23 season. Lock that shit in.
Lock it in, man.
I need it. Lock it in. Man, I was going through their team depth chart and every offseason with them. I was like, man, they can definitely win it. I believe in Jameis, man. I believe in Jameis.
I was a big Jameis fan when he came out of Florida State, and I mean, he obviously didn't look very well when he was with the Bucks, but he had 40 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns. We also had
30 touchdowns, 30 picks in 2019. I mean, he's a solid quarterback. If you take away 15 of those picks, the Bucks probably in the same position Tom Brady put him in the next year.
Exactly.
And I get it. He had an interception problem, but that offseason, I think he got that LASIK eye surgery. Mm-hmm. We didn't even know he was blind this whole time.
We did it.
And then starting last year, he really didn't have anybody to throw to. He started off the year, I think he had 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions before he tore his ACL. So he was definitely on the right track. Like I said, he really didn't have no weapons. So, he was doing what he could, keeping the Saints afloat. So this year, if he's fully healthy and recovered from that ACL, they got Chris Olave. Man, like we said last episode, you could go him or Garrett Wilson with the best wide receiver who came out of OSU. Personally, I think it's Olave. He got all the routes in his route tree. He can run it all.
Exactly.
It might be, a learning curve for him trying to get off the press of NFL DBs, but other than that, if he could break off the line, that's a scary number. Because really, depending on who you ask, I'm thinking since he's the rookie, he probably gonna be the third option. Because they did pick up Jarvis Landry in free agency. Michael Thomas coming back. And when I looked at that, I was like, man, Jameis Winston got some weapons. You still got Alvin Kamara. Like, I'm picking the Saints to win the NFC South, man. I'm not going to lie. They already got the Buccaneers number. So, yeah, I definitely like the moves they made, man. I like the moves they made.
That defense, they added Tyron, man. It's like that.
My boy. I hate to see him go. I know it's like two sides of Chiefs fandom, one that really loved Tyron and the other that couldn't stand him. The ones that would go back and forward on social media, but that's my dog, man. He came in and brought us a Super Bowl. We don't get that Super Bowl without him leading our defense. I don't care what anybody says. Tyron is a dog. And the fact that he back in his hometown playing for his hometown team he might have a career year this year. I'm calling him, man. Like, they definitely got that fire back in him after, all the BS he went through with contract talks with us. So I'm looking forward to see him out there on that field again, especially in New Orleans. That's going to be a scary sight.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting, man. That whole roster is insane. That defense is top notch. One of the best in the league. Cameron Jordan, Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore. The list goes on and on. These guys, they're gonna be. I kind of want to see how they do without Sean Payton, because he's gone. So that's gonna be very interesting. But other than that, man, I see no reason why they don't win this. I mean, the Bucks still there, but I mean, like Brady, like what 50?
I think they say he turned 45 in August, but he probably still gonna be playing when he's 50. So I mean, it don't even matter. But man, they of course Sean Payton, he left, but Sean Payton left a lot on the table. It was some years where they definitely should have been in at least the Super Bowl, and they just came up way short with him and Breeze. But they hired their defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, and obviously some of that former staff has heavy beliefs in that he can, bring winning football or keep the winning football culture there in New Orleans. So they kept a lot of that staff together. Dennis Allen, a defensive-minded coach. You bring in a dog like Tyrann Mathieu to anchor that defense at safety. Like the players you just mentioned, Cameron Jordan going to be getting after the QB, making Tom Brady's life a living hell when they played him. Man, they got star power on both sides of the ball, man.
Both sides of the ball. They're going to be nice.
And that's the other thing. People forget they was knocking so hard on Jameis Winston last year. Of course, they didn't have Michael Thomas at all for the whole year. Kamara was battling injuries. Like, they had no offensive weapons. You bring their offensive weapons back healthy. Hopefully a healthy Jameis Winston. And then you add Olave to the mix with Jarvis Landry. They're going to be able to put up points and stop people from putting up points on the board. So
exactly. They're gonna be one of them teams they should have watched out for, man. For real, these guys gonna be nice.
Dangerous down there in New Orleans, man. I'm excited to see them. Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Oh man. And then we move on next to the old guy in Tampa Bay, officially retired, according to reports. Then it was like, oh, no, he's not retiring. Then he came out with his Instagram post, said he was retiring. Even when he said he was retiring, I remember us talking about it. I was like, man, you told me, it's like, man, I know that's not for real. Like, I just know he's coming back. Like, what was it, like 2 weeks later?
Exactly.
I'm coming out of retirement. I'm back. NFL script writers couldn't draw this up any better. You know what I'm saying? If he mess around and win an Super Bowl, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man.
Oh, I might off myself for real. I gotta keep PG, but still, man. He had this guy win another one.
He just won't leave the league. They say he went home and started spending time with them kids. It was like, nah, I gotta get out the house. Them daddy issues, he did not want them.
Like, dang, man, go spend time with Giselle. I think that's her name.
Yeah, the supermodel wife, and you don't want to be at home. Rather be on the football field getting hit by 300-pound men. Hey,
it don't make no sense, but hey, more power to him.
More power to him, man. Bruce Arians took a front office job role, stepped down from the head coach. They got Todd Bowles in now. Shout out Todd Bowles, man. I will say that's a great coach, great defensive mind. Only coach to lead the Jets with the winning record in the past decade with all their troubles they've been having, and they still found a way to fire him.
That says a lot.
Not saying, you know what I'm saying there, but, man, like, what more could you want? It's a bottom of the barrel franchise, and he got y'all a winning record, and look where y'all have gone without him. But I hope the Buccaneers definitely give him a shot to, like, get his feet wet, because Tom Brady, I mean, I don't think he's gonna play forever, but I would say maybe 2 years tops, depending on how this year go. So obviously the expectations are Super Bowl or bust, but even if they don't get a Super Bowl, man, Todd Bowles is definitely the coach I think they should stick with moving forward for the future. So,
oh yeah, for sure. Like you said, he's a great head coach, man. We know why the Jets fired him, for real.
We know,
and it's a damn shame that they did that, because, like you said, look at him now. I mean, it's been going downhill ever since he left. So, I mean, it's the same Bucks team. So, I mean, they lost when they won their guards or their center or whatever. But
Ali Marpet retired. Then they lose another lineman. I forgot. I can't think of his name right now, but lost him to Cincy. And so, combat that. Of course, Gronk is gone. Well, he says he's done for now.
He says he's going. Yeah.
Brady done return. I could very well easily see Gronk coming back a couple weeks into the season, if not right before the season starts. Talking about, well, I guess I will run it back with Tom. You know how they are. But they didn't have any first round picks or anything, so they got started in the second round. One of their picks I do want to talk about, G County finest, Galveston
Oh
Ball alum,
yeah, sure did pick
Zion
him up.
McCollum, man. They
Shout
say
out to him.
that's a nice little steal of the draft. Ran a 4.33 at the combine, 6'2", 39-inch vert. That's tough. They've been needing a corner opposite Whitfield Jr., so
Yeah,
that's a
for
nice
sure.
little pickup, especially after they lose Jordan Whitehead to the Jets at the safety position. So definitely gonna need some cornerbacks, especially like, if they want to contend with the Saints, they're gonna have to lock up the receivers because that's gonna be a tough task, as we just talked about.
Three-headed snake for real over there.
They
So
they did luck out, and Ryan Jensen, they re-signed Ryan Jensen to a 3-year deal once Tom Brady announced he was coming back. So they still got his center, but that offensive line, if it don't gel, it's gonna get tough because Brady, he's the GOAT. I'll give him that. But he can't move around in that pocket. If you're not protecting him, he's not escaping no sacks.
yeah, they going straight down. He dropping right now. He throwing the ball on the ground. So he'll be what he had like a great offensive line pretty much his whole career, huh?
Pretty much, it's the 1 year. I mean, the line wasn't even necessarily bad because they were still winning with Matt Castle. But that 1 year, playing my Chiefs, they bust up the middle and hit him low towards ACL. That's about it. Other than that, he stay upright for the most part. So that they gonna keep him upright. That's who they signed. They signed Shaq Mason, one of his old offensive linemen from New England.
Yeah.
So they got him in the mix now. But hey, they gonna have to keep him upright if they want any chance of winning. Their receiver core a little thin, probably to start off the season. Mike Evans, probably the only name. I know they have high hopes for Rashad Perriman. Kind of broke out at the end of last year. Was jumping from team to team these past couple years, but finally found a home in Tampa Bay. He's gonna have to step up because I don't think Godwin's gonna be back for at least probably the first month of the season recovering from that ACL. So they're gonna have to find something out. OJ Howard left in free agency. So
don't forget about Russell Gage though. They did pick up Russell
they
Gage.
did pick up Russell Gage from Atlanta. I saw that. So
he gonna have to play that Wes Welker or that Julian Edelman role.
That
so
slot role. Yep.
That's gonna be very interesting to see him jail with Tom Brady. So
he probably gonna succeed because if there's one thing Tom Brady gonna propel, it's that slot position. It don't matter who they putting up numbers. That go all the way back to the Deion Branch days. Like whoever they just gonna put up numbers by default with him because soon as he get that ball hiked, he getting it out of there quick. Wow. He's not trying to get touched, especially at 45. I know that ball coming out even quicker. I mean, as old as he is, he was still at. I mean, it seemed like he just get better and better. Like age 44 season, he was, I think, top 2 or top 1 QBR. Like,
yeah,
he's still producing, but I don't think the team around him was strong enough this year. But who knows? That old man, it wouldn't surprise me if he just has to prove us wrong again and win his 8th Super Bowl, man. Like you said, I'll be joining y'all and offing myself because I can't stand to see another one of those.
God, please, I don't not want to see that.
God, if you listening, Tom Brady, no more Super Bowls. I need it. Please. Oh man, we can move on to the Carolina Panthers, man. They got a QB battle on their hands, I guess.
Very strange, but I mean, hey, more power to them.
I guess. I mean, what more do you need to see from Darnold to know that he's just not cut out to be a quarterback in the NFL? I'm sorry to say it. I know the Jets obviously dumpster fire, but he showed no improvement over there for years. Last year they start off, 3-0, I think. Finished the season 5-12. Obviously, that was helped derailed by Christian McCaffrey getting injured, but he stays injured. So I mean, hopefully they get a healthy year out of him. But him and Matt Rule, man, another one of those coaches that didn't necessarily do anything for real in college, but got a promotion to NFL head coach job.
Somehow, some way.
Blows my mind somehow, some way. But they were definitely calling for his head because now he's 3 years in, and he still ain't really showed no results either. So he's on the hot seat this year.
For sure, yeah.
And I mean, he probably gonna be out of here if I would had to put my money on it after this year because I don't see them making the playoffs, and they still might find a way to finish dead last in the division with the Saints and the Bucks. There, they're gonna be fighting Atlanta for that third spot. So
very potential. I'm not a. I know you a big OU guy, but I'm not a big Baker fan, man. I'm not a big Baker guy. I was kind of surprised when they actually went to go get him because like you said, got Sam Darnold there and still got PJ Walker. I like PJ Walker. He played for the Houston
you talking? I can't think of the league, but I know you're talking about. He was a quarterback for the Houston
Roughnecks.
Roughnecks. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And he got a contract off that. He was playing so well. He got a contract off that.
Yeah. So shout out to him, man. I don't know about this team, man. I mean, the defense is okay. They got good pass rushers, I guess, but
they let Hassan Reddick walk. I mean, that was their best pass rusher on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to sign him. I know we're just talking about QBs. I think PJ Walker is still on the roster, but they also drafted Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral. So I mean, that was before they finally just made the trade for Baker literally a couple of days ago at this point. So I mean, if they say it's a quarterback battle with Darnold and Baker going in, Baker does win the job. Say he wins the job. I mean, how long does Baker really have in Carolina? Is this kind of like he trying to prove himself? Maybe they can get some value and ship him out? Or like, you think Corral is the future? Does he got any chance there? Or he kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place now because he got drafted there thinking, they got Sam Darnold. This is our next option. And then they go on the back end and trade for Baker Mayfield. So now quarterback room kind of deep. But
yeah, it's very deep.
No like bona fide talent still. So they're still in a pretty bad predicament.
Exactly. Man, you would think this is like a Baker prove it type year, or like for a couple of games and they try to trade him again, or I mean, because they didn't give up too much for him, huh? Like it was like a 6th round pick or a 3rd round pick or something like that.
It was 5th round conditional pick. And
yeah,
then
so
Baker cap hit not even I think it reaches 8.5 if he plays like 70% of the snaps this year. So he could very well not do that if they do choose to go the Sam Darnold route. So definitely gonna be interesting to see because some of these GMs like to play that chess game where like, hey, just because the contract stipulations say that, they might not play him for 70% of snaps just so they don't have to take that dead cap hit from Cleveland. So who knows? But I mean, I definitely think he's gonna bounce back from what he did last year if he does get the opportunity to play, because he had no business playing last year with that torn labrum. He should have just sat out. But the dog and Baker, like I respect his competitive fire that wouldn't let him sit out, but he definitely played himself out of contract negotiations and getting more money by doing all that mess. Then you have the whole debacle with Odell. Odell goes to LA, wins the Super Bowl. So that definitely didn't help either. But I think Baker could bounce back. I do want to say they picked up this cat named Amari Barno, linebacker from Virginia Tech. That's probably what they're looking to replace Hassan Reddick with.
Yeah.
Dude, 6'4", 246, but ran a 4.3 40.
Damn.
My word exactly. Damn. It might be a little of a project, but if you're looking for a steal of the draft, they got him in the 6th round, I want to say. And they got J.C. Horn, lockdown corner that they drafted last year with their first pick, returning from his broken foot. Those could be 2 solid pieces moving forward. Now, like I said, I don't think Matt Rule is going to be there anymore. So after this year, so whatever coach ends up getting him, he definitely got some pieces to work with. But this is definitely a proven year for Matt Rule and Baker Mayfield, because it's all in or nothing. Like Baker try to prove you could be a starting quarterback in this league still, and Matt Rule prove that you even deserve to be in the NFL as a head coach, because he wasn't bad at Baylor. I mean, he had Baylor playing good, but he didn't win nothing for real. So I still don't understand that one. But hey, we know
they never won the Big 12, huh?
No, they I think what was it? The year OU had Jalen Hurts, they beat them. So I think they might have finished them first for the regular season, but then OU got them back in the Big 12 championship. So it's like, Yeah, but promotion, NFL head coaching job. Makes sense to me. And then rounding out the NFC South, last but not least, we got the Atlanta Falcons. It's full rebuild time in Atlanta, man.
For sure. For sure.
Got rid of that boy Matty Ice. Maybe one of the greatest quarterbacks that never won a Super Bowl, and definitely probably should have got him one at his time in Atlanta. Biggest Super Bowl choke for sure. I know Atlanta fans they'll never get over that one. That one will sting forever. But Matt Ryan gone, Marcus Mariota in. They also picked up Desmond Ridder, round 3 quarterback for Cincinnati. Nice little pro quarterback. I mean, I'm assuming he'll probably learn the system for a year. They're not just going to throw him into this fire because, like I said, they definitely in a rebuild. But they first pick they had was pick 8 in round 1. They go Drake London from USC, 6'4" wide receiver. That's a nice little pick.
Nice.
Now they got him and Kyle Pitts, 6'4", 2 6'4" dudes. Man, they got some big bodies out there. Give Mariota a few options. I mean, I don't expect him to do much, but I think it was did Kyle Pitts even record a touchdown reception last year? It was some crazy stat. Like I don't think he either got one or he didn't get any at all.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it was somehow he still made the Pro Bowl somehow, some way. I don't know, but yeah, I think he only had like one touchdown, maybe if not any.
Yeah, that
very weird.
That's very weird. I think that definitely changes. I could see him easily going for 6 or 7 or more
sure.
This season, especially now adding a big body like Drake London. That's someone defense has got to pay attention to as well. Because last year, I think they were kind of just focusing on Kyle Pitts because there wasn't too many other options. Calvin Ridley was on the sidelines injured while he was betting games.
Yeah,
so now he's suspended for this year. Like we said earlier,
the whole year.
Russell Gage went to Tampa Bay. So, I mean, it's the Drake London, Kyle Pitts show in Atlanta. And then can't forget about the Swiss Army knife, Cordarrelle Patterson.
Yeah.
Put him in the backfield, put him outside to catch. He could do it all.
It's crazy. He's like 33 now, and they just now figure out how to use him.
Man. And you see it in San Francisco with Debo. They started to do the same thing, but I mean, he's an athlete, so I mean, use him how you can when you ain't got nobody else.
For sure.
Man, they tried to beef up the defense a little bit with some of their draft picks. Round 3, they go with an edge guy in D'Angelo Malone. Then next pick, they go outside linebacker from Western Kentucky, who was the 2019 and 2021 Conference USA Player of the Year. So they got a few nice little pieces on the defense, but like I said, it's just rebuild time. Like it is what it is. So
yeah, it is what it is at this point.
Them Atlanta fans, if y'all true to Atlanta, true to the ATL, you're just gonna have to stick through it and ride these next couple years because it ain't gonna be much of nothing coming out of Atlanta. But
they better hope they the worst team in the league this year, so they go pick up Bryce Young or old boy from Ohio State.
We're gonna touch on them later, but I actually got a team I'm eyeballing that they ain't getting no quarterbacks in this draft, even though they really needed one. But they probably selling out to try to get Bryce Young. But I'm gonna hit on that later, man.
Say less.
Yeah. They also traded for Brian Edwards from Las Vegas. A nice little wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 options. So they got some solid pieces. Maybe get 4 or 5 wins. Who knows? Upset here or there versus New Orleans or Tampa Bay if they catch them on the right day. You know how it is in the NFL any given Sunday. So yeah. I can see them getting an upset here or there, but nothing too much other than that. So
I kind of want to see Marcus Mariota because it's like they really believe in him. So
hey, I mean, dude was a Heisman winner.
Oh yeah, he was. So you can't put that past him.
I was talking to one of my homeboys the other day. Shout out Scoop if you ever listen to this, Scoop. But he was saying, he was like, man, Marcus Mariota, he a Heisman winner. I believe in him. He's like, he can make some noise in Atlanta. I was listening to him. I was like, I mean, yeah, he is a solid QB. I told him, I was like, I really thought after years with Derek Carr not really doing that, I thought the Raiders would have kind of made the switch to just see. But he never really got the opportunity. So I'm excited to see Mariota get his first opportunity since Tennessee for real. back when the last moment I can remember is dude threw a touchdown pass to himself versus us in a playoff game. Just
I remember
another
that.
spectacular way the Chiefs found a way to lose a playoff game, man.
I
Never
remember
forget
that
that
shit.
one.
That shit was nuts when I seen
Yeah,
that. Like, how's that possible?
only happens to us, man. I swear. But next we can get started with the NFC North. This is an interesting division, man. I'm gonna let you start. I'm gonna get this over. I'm gonna let you start. What you think about the NFC North?
Man, me personally, I think it's a one team division.
What's
They
the
got
one team though?
that man. That day he's a bad
Eh,
let's
he's
say
a
he's a
bad
bad man.
man. He's a bad man in the regular season. As far as playoffs go, I'm sorry. I've lost all faith in that bad man. Now,
Yes,
I will say, I don't expect them. The division is so terrible to me, in my personal opinion. I still think Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, and Matt LaFleur, they'll find a way to still end up first in that division. I see a lot of analysts saying, this is Minnesota year. And I'm just like, as long as Kirk Cousins is a quarterback, I don't know how much faith I'm putting in that. But a bad man, he really ain't got nothing else to prove. And from a regular season standpoint, he got 4 MVPs, 2 back-to-back. It's really just the playoffs now. And losing Devontae, man, losing MVS, Kansas City. All they got is Allen Lazard. They signed Sammy Watkins, but as we know, Sammy Watkins probably good for 5 games out of the year.
Yeah.
If they can get him healthy for the playoffs, he's a playoff performer. I'll give him that. And they got Robert Tonyan back, but he coming off an ACL injury.
ACL, yeah.
And then they've drafted wide receiver round 2. I think was it Christian Watson?
Christian Watson, yeah.
But Rodgers don't really trust rookie wide receivers, so it's like I don't really know how much to expect from him. But it's gonna be different to see Rodgers not having that man Devontae Adams out there to catch the ball, because that was his go-to. I don't know where he goes from there. Randall Cobb, decent. Sammy Watkins, decent. Christian Watson, nobody knows yet because he's a rookie. Allen Lazard he was on the brink of wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
He really wide receiver 3. Like
he gonna have to step up, or they're gonna have to go out and sign. I don't know why nobody haven't signed this guy, but they have to go sign Julio Jones.
I've been wondering that too. Like the league must know something that we don't.
We don't, yeah.
Is the Julio too old now or something? Because I was definitely thinking, like, why is Julio Jones not been picked up by anybody? Like, at the end of the day, he's still Julio Jones. Just
exactly.
Even if he not necessarily putting up numbers like he did back in his prime, I guess, just his presence could change something for your offense or open something up. But he's still unsigned to this day. So I don't know. Maybe there's something we don't know as regular people that the NFL does.
It got to be something we don't know, because it's like you said, it's Julio freaking Jones. He at least have he's playing with Ryan Tannehill lessons. I mean, it's so much he can do with Ryan Tannehill. But I mean, it's like he at least got like 1 or 2 more good years in him. And after that, I think he's probably gone. But I don't know. It's gonna be up to Allen Lazard to carry that receiving crew, and that's kind of scary to think about, because Allen Lazard is like, who's that guy? But he's a big physical receiver. So then they got that 2-headed punch with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon.
They did re-sign Aaron Jones, so that was a good pickup. So their running game should still be there. They should be getting David Bakatari back. That should shore up some of the offensive line again. Then they let Zadarius Smith walk on the defensive end, but they kind of made up for it in the draft. They got some free agency picks too. They signed our boy Jaron Reed. He's a certified run stopper. Nice little interior pass rusher from time to time, but he definitely can clog up that middle. Then let's see. Man, they didn't move up. The surprising thing to me is the draft was loaded with wide receiver talent. And I mean, for the longest, it's always been like get Aaron help,
Help, yeah.
Now, the fact that Aaron took that deal this year, making him the highest paid player ever, I mean, get your money, you deserve it. But I mean, how committed are you to winning if you're gonna take up all the cap space like that? But they didn't trade up at all to get any of these wide receivers. And in fact, they let their division foe Detroit trade up with Minnesota to pick 12, and they picked Jameson Williams. And he might torch them for years to come. And it's like y'all could have easily flipped some stuff around. It could have drafted any of these guys just to get Aaron Rodgers some type of help. But I guess they really banking on Christian Watson, so maybe he'll surprise us. I mean, he's playing with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, so maybe that can help. But man,
I don't know. Like you said, he doesn't really trust rookie receivers like that. He barely trusts MVS last year. So I mean, it's gonna be very interesting. It's tough for my GOAT, man. That's the guy I love. So once he's gone, shit, it's Jordan Love team. They've been talking about that for years now. Man. Jordan Love.
They're gonna regret that for so long. They are. I mean, was this his third year now? And you still don't hear hey, Jordan Love really improving, like he's showing he can be like you don't hear none of that talk coming out of Packers camp. And then just to add salt to the wound, Aaron Rodgers just won MVP again 2 years in a row since y'all made that pick. It's like another pick wasted. Y'all could have got this man some talent, especially talent that could be used right now would have had 2 years of experience with them and Devontae out the door because he wanted to be the highest paid receiver. Exactly. So that's definitely tough for them. But like I said, we're about to talk about the rest of the division. So if I had to put my money on it, I still betting on Aaron Rodgers because me too. The Detroit Lions. I mean, Jared Goff is a decent quarterback.
Okay.
He was able to he could do what it takes to get a team to Super Bowl if you got the right pieces around him. Now, obviously, I'm not saying he's about to lead Detroit to Super Bowl, but they should definitely be a little bit more competitive this year. They got the first two picks they took in this year's draft, they knocked it out of the park. They got Aiden Hutchinson, 6'7" edge rusher, staying home, playing for his hometown team.
Can't believe he dropped to them. I thought he was for sure going.
I thought he was for sure going number 1 too. And then
surprised me.
But falls to Detroit. Then, like I said, they trade up. They get Jameson Williams. Now, he probably won't play maybe the first couple of weeks, bouncing back from that ACL. Even though I've heard reports that say he could, and he's on track, if not ahead of schedule. But that's a nice little wide receiver they got there. Josh Reynolds came along at the end of the year, showed that, him and Goff had a connection. They re-signed him. So they got pieces there in place for them to move forward. And I think their head coach, even though he had that crazy press conference to start off the year last year, I think the team really vibes with him and like they'll go out and play their hearts out for them. So it was a lot of games last year where it's Detroit. They just found a way to lose, but they were right there to win. Like they lose to the Ravens with the longest kick ever from Justin Tucker. I mean, like that's a game they probably should win, but 65.5 yard clinks off the crossbar and goes in. It's like, hey, it's Detroit. What can you say? Like,
but man, honestly, if you look at those games last year, they were pretty much in every game.
They were in every game. They should be competitive. They also signed DJ Chark from Jacksonville, so they added some pieces. They also got an interesting dude. I don't know if you peeped or saw, but I actually watched him this year because we played him in the SWAC championship. Dude's name is James Houston, outside linebacker from Jackson State. He did go to Florida, transferred, played his senior season with Coach Prime. Coach Prime pulling all these top rated players, pissing everybody off. You love to see it.
Love to see
playing
it.
for the HBCUs. Dude had 24.5 tackles for loss and 16.5 sacks this past season as senior. Now, of course, people are gonna say, well, he's playing in the SWAC, but I mean, hey, football is football at the end of the day. You putting 16.5 sacks versus anybody, I don't care. College football at the D1 level, there's something there. So like he could definitely make some noise, I think, too. But they said they in every game, so they got pieces, and I can see them creeping up. Like people are saying Minnesota, but Jared Goff is more of a proven winner than Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, yeah, easily shit. He got to the Super.
He got to the Super Bowl.
He got there. So I mean, he definitely a more proven winner than Kirk Cousins for sure. Man, what low key kind of watch out for this team. I mean, DeAndre Swift, he's a dog. I mean, I feel like he a top 5 running back. He a dog, man.
Man, look, when that what was it? The 2017 Rose Bowl when OU played Georgia. When it wasn't Nick Chubb, it was Swift.
Yeah.
Just 1-2, just running it down Oklahoma throat, and they could not stop it. It was making me sick. He's a dog for sure.
And they have another up and coming receiver. I don't know if you know about him, but Monroe St. Brown. He's
come from a family of football players.
Yeah.
Him and his brother, nice.
Yeah, he's a dog, man. Up and coming receiver for sure. Watch out for him. So I mean, that O line, they improving that O line too. We got Jonah Jackson and I don't want to what's called his name, but Sewell got him still. He a dog. So I mean, this team they might do something. They never know.
They could make some noise. Maybe sneak in their second place if Minnesota don't play how people are saying they're gonna play. But let's get on to Minnesota, man. So like I said, got Kirk Cousins at quarterback, arguably one of the best young wide receivers. If you're not gonna say it's Jamar Chase, it's got to be this guy and Justin Jefferson, man.
Gotta be, man.
Straight dog. Ever since he stepped foot in the league, it just pains me to see he's got to play with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
I mean, they had Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs left because he was tired of playing with Kirk Cousins. It's only a matter of time if they don't get some help that Justin Jefferson probably will do the same. But got him, Adam Thielen, going into the season. I think he's going to be turning 32. So, I mean, never want to try to put an end on a dude's career, but don't know how many good years he got left. He was kind of banged up last year, and he's getting older. They had the 12th pick in the draft, loaded with wide receiver talent. They trade back. And then they pick up a safety from Georgia. Now, Georgia, obviously, best defense in the country last year, won the national championship, so not knocking them. Lewis Seen from Georgia. But if they was going to trade back and then they picked him with the last pick of the first round, it was like, if you really needed a safety with the 12th pick, they could have got who did the Ravens get? I think was it Kyle Williams from Notre Dame?
Kyle Hamilton.
They could have easily got him. So I'm like, what was the point of trading back to get that safety? And the best safety in the draft was right there at 12 if you wasn't gonna go receiver. So that kind of baffled me with that one. They definitely gotta shore up the defensive side of the ball. I think they were ranked 29th against the pass. So 5 of their first 6 picks were all defense. So, I mean, obviously they went in the draft and they said, hey, we got a problem. We're going to fix it. So, I guess if there's one reason for not going receiver, it was that right there. They got who I think was a pretty good pickup in round 2 with pick 42. They got Andrew Booth, junior cornerback out of Clemson. Dude knows winning football, playing with Dabo and Venables, who's now head coach at OU. He's been dealing with he had a core injury last year and some type of other major injury, I think back in 2019. But scouts said, man, he's dog. He's fighting back. He's healthy. So expect him to definitely be fighting for starting spot across from Patrick Peterson, who they re-signed. So, I mean, they got the defense. They still got Dalvin Cook on offensive end, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. But man, like I said, Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Even if he gets you to the playoffs, I wouldn't bet anything that he's going to take you far. So
can't trust that guy, man.
Yeah,
you can't trust that guy. It's like I feel bad for that team. I feel bad for that city because they got to sit there and watch Kirk Cousins the whole time. It's like you're not that guy. You're not that guy, bro.
You like that?
you like that?
No, we don't like that.
We don't like that at all.
Oh man, they did. I mean, I don't know how much credit they signed or not signed, but they new head coach Zimmer out. Got former offensive coordinator, Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator from the LA Rams, Kevin O'Connell. Now, how much of that offense was due to O'Connell and not McVay. That's a debate to be had.
We'll see.
I mean, got other offensive coordinators like Bieniemy, cough, cough, wink, wink, who, when we play good, it's Andy Reid calling them plays. It's not Sean McVay calling them plays over there in LA, but hey, that's like another debate for another day, man. But they got him as a head coach, so maybe he can help give a boost to offense, maybe help Kirk Cousins step up his game a little bit. Who knows?
Maybe
they did sign defensive lineman Harrison Phillips. Set a career high with 51 tackles last year. Not necessarily get to the quarterback type of guy, but definitely stop the run game. So that should help. Can't think of his name. Who they got alongside on the other side of the ball on defensive end?
Hunter?
Danielle Hunter, who they got from San Francisco a couple years ago. Name slipped my mind, but pairing him on the opposite of him, they should make a little bit of noise. But said, if I'm betting money between the Packers and the Vikings for taking this division, I'm gonna stick with the bread and butter, and that's the Packers. Because at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is behind center, so I got my faith in him.
I got my faith in him too. I put in the regular season, if it comes down to in that division, who's going to win that division? I mean, what I'm putting my life on Aaron Rodgers for sure. So
for sure,
yeah.
And last in the division, we got the Chicago Bears, man. Now they are in complete rebuild mode.
Yeah, complete.
But they got the guy to carry them through this. Ryan Poles, the new GM, got him from Kansas City. Dude made all the right moves this offseason, even though some of it might not look pretty. Bears have been fighting for what they thought was, the open window of a championship run for these past few years. And that window was never truly open. Yeah. And even any sliver of it being open shut when they made that Mitchell Trubisky draft pick. And they still were fighting for it for a couple years, but now finally deaded all of that. And Ryan Poles comes in, he takes over. They had no first round draft picks at 22 from the Khalil Mack trade. They had to offload Khalil Mack, free up some cap space. They take the most dead hit in cap money this year because they've been offloading a bunch of contracts. So it is what it is, but that's going to open up their cap room for years to come, kind of bring in some big free agent names. Hopefully some talent to help my boy Justin Fields, because I definitely think he could be a dog in this league if you put the right people around him, man. Go ahead, talk on Justin Fields, man, because I know that's one of your guys.
Man, that's my guy, man. Like, just seeing him on this roster, because he come from a winning school. They, Ohio State, they win a lot, and just to see him on a damn Chicago Bears and this nasty ass roster. I mean, he got nobody to throw to. Goddamn Darnell Mooney, Brian Pringle. He lost Allen Robinson. Yeah. I mean, it's tough to watch, man. I
will say Byron Pringle, he's a solid wide receiver too. He really showed up and showed out last year, earning him this new contract with Chicago. I won't say he's a number one, but for the time being in Chicago, since they don't have too many pieces, he could definitely become Justin Fields' favorite option when it comes down to it. He got hands, he could catch, make plays after the catch. And if they need it, he's a great special teams guy too. I don't know how much they want to use him in special teams since he probably is coming in to be that wide receiver too, but some versatility there as well.
Man, they also this off subject, but I think they had like three or four guys arrested during this offseason. I want to say Pringle got arrested. I want to say I want to say like Duke Shelley got arrested too. Or Jalen Johnson, one of them guys got arrested, but yeah, they had like three guys got arrested. Everybody was like, "Dang, like this got to be the most in NFL offseason ever."
Dang,
so it's just crazy. But
hey, it don't matter too much because, like I said, they the rebuild. So if people are gonna out themselves by getting arrested, that's just let's Poles know, like, okay, we can move on from them too, man. they did I guess maybe help kind of a project. Round 3, pick 71, they go with the guy named Velus Jones Jr. out of Tennessee. Now he's wide receiver, But I mean, like I say, he's a project. Still needs some work on some routes here and there. But he's arguably the best special teams player from college football last year. Averaged like 100 or 132 and a half return yards or something, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hey, not Devin Hester, but
I was
maybe
about to
add a
say.
spark on the special teams in. You never know. And then, like I said, maybe kind of get him going to be a future number 2 receiver for Justin Fields. And then, they open up this cap space after this year. Then, then maybe they could go out and get a big name guy. Another team is like sign Julio Jones. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
know. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't know what's wrong with him, but y'all
offer him something. I mean,
something like
at this point, he'll probably take the vet minimum.
he probably take the vet minimum, and that's a bona fide. Oh, Siri talking to me. Siri, nobody is talking to you. Oh my god. but yeah, I was saying like sign Julio. I don't know. Like Justin Fields second year, give him some help. They beefed up the offensive line a little bit, so that's good to see. Like, got to protect your number 1 quarterback, your franchise QB. But I mean, hey, Julio Jones sitting there, I'm definitely making the call. Like, what's it gonna take to get you over here, even if it's for a year? Just something to kind of just help Justin Fields get some progression in this league. Because said there's really nobody he could probably just count on if he just need a go-to guy on a third down situation, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you want to go to next? NFC East, NFC West. We can say the West for last. They probably loaded.
Let's say
NFC East, man. I got some stuff to say. Just fair warning, Cowboys fans, y'all will not like me after this one.
They won't like me at all either.
Man.
How about them Cowboys?
I know Chris gonna be upset with this one, man. Man, we'll say the Cowboys for last. Let's start out in New York, man. Let's start out in New York. Got a new head coach, Brian Daboll. Last episode, I said I think he deserves a lot of credit for Josh Allen's improvement throughout these last few years. Because when he came in, he was terrible, but he's gotten better each year, and that's a big part due to Brian Daboll. I mean, Daniel Jones, I'm not saying there's no Josh Allen, but I would expect after the 3 years he's had, that just been, it ain't even been up and down. It's just been all down.
All down.
With Daniel Jones. But I would expect Daboll kind of help him turn it around. And even though he might not be the best version of himself this upcoming year, definitely get him on the right foot moving forward, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too down against Danny Dimes. I actually kind of like Danny Dimes, but other than that, yeah, like you said, everything's been downhill for him. I mean, they picked up Kenny Galladay last year, so still got that big receiver. Hopefully he stayed injury free, because he's always hurt. Got Kadarius Toney. He should be a young good star, but
he's a gadget player. If anything, like they should use him more. I think Daboll incorporate him more, because Daboll, he kind of has a thing for the slot receivers. Buffalo, you saw with Cole Beasley, he really shines. So I expect a solid season from him. They also go out and they drafted another kind of short slot receiver, Wandel Robinson. He's like 5'8".
Yeah, they sure did.
I don't know why, because they do have Sterling Shepard and Kadarius Toney, but Sterling Shepard, I think, is on his contract year, and he's never really healthy, so he might be on his way out after this year if Wandel pans out. But obviously, Daboll saw something he liked, thought he could use him, so they pick him up. Then they add a tight end, Daniel Bellinger, from San Diego State. They lost Evan Ingram. He never really panned out in New York. So they got couple new faces on the offensive end. Saquon finally had a full offseason of just training. Last year, he spent his offseason rehabbing. Said he feels fully healthy, fully confident in that knee now. Feels like he's back better than 100%. So if they can get him healthy, get Daboll back on the right track, I can see New York winning third place in the NFC East.
Watch out, man. I mean, Saquon, man, if he come back and he, like you said, he be healthy, We all know what Saquads. We all know what he can do, man.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. He's no way around
don't
it.
get it twisted. He was a dog. I mean,
Yep.
he was balling out, and New York ain't have nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And he caught the injury, but now if he back healthy, man, that's top 2 running back in the league, arguably. So
exactly.
And probably the worst run organization in the NFL, the Washington Commanders. I mean,
that new name, huh?
I mean, just let's start off with the name. If they was gonna change it, I would have rather just seen them keep Washington football team. If they was gonna go with Commanders, you could have went with anything else.
Anything else? Commanders? The fuck?
They're not commanding anything.
Anything at all. Like you said, the Washington football team was literally like, it was perfect to me personally. Like it fit them from going from, the other word we can't really say no more. But
yeah, we can't say that. Okay. We follow all the rules on I Need a Sports podcast, man. But yeah, man, Washington Commanders. I mean, they got a solid little team. Now, like I said, they the worst run organization in the league with Daniel Snyder. Them and the Cowboys, I feel like they the 2 biggest franchises where I can't see them ever doing anything with the owners they have at this moment. Jerry Jones and Daniel Snyder, they just get too much in the team's way. Jerry Jones is with his money and thinking he know everything. Daniel Snyder, for all the wrong reasons, man. Just doing all sorts of crazy stuff in that department over in Washington. It's all coming to light. And I mean, I guess Roger Goodell can't force him out as commissioner of the league. That's got to be something the owners agree on. But man, Daniel Snyder should have been out yesterday.
Yeah, he should have been gone.
Like, is that what he's doing over there is not acceptable. But as far as football goes, man, they got a solid team. Like I was saying, got Carson Wentz. Now, Carson Wentz been bouncing around ever since that year with the Eagles where they won the Super Bowl and he couldn't finish the season because he was tore his ACL. I still think some of that Carson Wentz from that year at the beginning is in there somewhere.
I hope so.
Didn't pan out with the Colts, and they kind of put the blame on him, even though, I mean, I guess, but at the same time, I don't think it was necessarily all his fault.
No, they blew it.
He gonna have Terry McLaurin, bona fide wide receiver number 1, able to sign him to an extension. Then they draft Jahan Dotson out of Penn State, so they got 2 nice receivers. They got a nice running back, Brian Robinson Jr. from Alabama. Alabama stay producing running backs. Yeah. He was backing up all the stars these past couple of years, and then, as you know, next up in line, they just always break out. Dude was a dog. If you don't believe me, go watch the semifinal game from this year's college football playoff. Dude won MVP, straight beast. He's gonna help to spell Gibson and McKissick, give them some time off, and he can kind of pick up those tough yards in between the tackles, whereas McKissick probably come in on the passing downs. But they definitely needed more depth in the running back room, and I think Washington has a chance to finish second. I'm not gonna lie. Now, if I said New York finished third, Washington finished second, you can already tell where this is headed.
Oh man.
Because a lot of people are forgetting too. Washington getting Young back. Chase Young is back.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
Wasn't he defensive rookie of the year?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, like dude is a beast. He gonna get after the quarterback. So getting him back, that's gonna help out their defense a lot. But I think they could get second, but I could easily see them falling to third. I think they're gonna be fighting for second and third with New York.
Yeah, I think so too. Like you said, getting Chase Young back, still got Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen stuffing up the middle. I can see second maybe, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough for them because they also find ways to lose. Also,
they do. I won't sit up and lie like they don't. They definitely do find some ways to lose.
That's one funny organization.
I will say, I don't know if it's gonna be the game in Philly or the game in Washington, but one of these games when they do play Philadelphia, I got Carson Wentz going off for 4 touchdowns just to get back at him a little bit. It's gonna be his first time getting to play his former team, and I want to say it'll be back in Philly just to get back at their fans. I can see him going off, throw about 2 touchdowns to McLaurin, maybe one to Dotson, maybe get one into Jordan Reed at tight end. Like I can see him going off and shutting up all the Eagles fans. But speaking of the Eagles, man, if they don't win first in
Oh
the
man,
NFC least this year, something's wrong. They
yo,
made all
something.
the offseason moves. They probably had the best offseason of any NFL team.
Yeah,
No
they
cap.
most definitely did, in my opinion. I mean, still got Jalen Hurts there at quarterback. We know what he can do. That mean he's my guy now. He's definitely my guy now.
Oh, you
Picked up.
believe in him now?
I'm a firm believer in him, man. We call that man Jesus, man. Jesus hurts. I call that man Jesus hurts. But
Oh man, y'all don't understand. I used to listen to this man bash Jalen Hurts all throughout his time when he transferred to OU. And then when he put that hurt on them Texas boys, man, he couldn't believe it. I tried to tell you. But man, hey, Jalen Hurts, a dog. I'm rooting for him this year. I hope he show out. They added all the weapons he need. Got Brown from Tennessee. That's a big pickup for them. I think this their year to really make some noise. Now, how far they go in the NFC, I don't know, because you still got teams like the Rams, the Saints, the Bucks. But I mean, I really feel like after last year making it to the wild card, they lose to Tampa Bay. They had no business really being in that game. It was just a matter of they lost the least in that division. They made it to the playoffs. But this year, I definitely think they got to reach at least the divisional round, or probably consider this year a failure. And if Jalen Hurts don't pan out this year, I mean, they might start looking for a quarterback in next year's draft, because, like I said, talent is there this year. Like, they got everything they need.
Most definitely. Hey man, don't sleep on if Jalen Hurts if he don't plan out, don't sleep on Gardner Minshew, because he did come in last year when Jalen Hurts was like hurt or he wasn't like really doing good or something like that. He'll come in and he looked okay, but yeah, he be slinging that thing. But nah, I think Jalen Hurts, he's the guy over there. He's their guy. I think either the owner or the head coach really believes. I think it's the owner, but he really believes in Jalen Hurts, and I really like that. And yeah, I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy, not big Jalen Hurts fan now. So I hope.
I'm glad we got this on recording. I'll never let you talk bad about my guy again.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't going back against him, man. Hey, that's my guy. And also interested in those pickup they got. They had picked up James Bradbury from the Giants
from New York.
And my Texans was actually, we had a deal in place for him to like a little trade, but we couldn't get because he wanted a new deal, but we couldn't get
terms.
Agreed terms, and it hurt me because I wanted James Bradbury, goddamn him and old boy put together. That'd have been locked down, but hey, him and Slay, that's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, Slay Jr. number 1 CB, definitely got Bradbury on the other side, and then who they get? What's dude? They got Nakobe Dean, right? From Georgia, linebacker. They got it at all 3 levels on that defensive side of the ball, and like I said, offensive side, they got some receivers now. Jalen's still a dual threat. He can run it. Their running game was already decent.
Yeah.
Led behind probably one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, Jason Kelce. So, hey, first place, nothing less.
It's theirs to lose. It's literally their division to lose. I mean,
I think I want to say it's like the last at least 15 seasons or something crazy where whoever wins the NFC East the year before doesn't repeat. And last year was the Cowboys ended up winning it. So leading on to that, sorry, Cowboys fans.
How about the Cowboys?
How about the Cowboys?
How about them? How about them?
I'm finna come with some major hot takes, man.
Let's hear it, man.
Hot take number 1. Cowboys finishing in last place in the division this year.
Ooh-wee, man.
Hot take number 2. This might be Dak's last year in Dallas or second to last.
You think so?
They finished last place this year. They're definitely looking for a QB in the draft next year.
Okay.
Dak is 7-13 versus playoff teams since 2018.
Trying to tell people, man.
As bad as people want him to be that guy, I'm not finna just knock Dak like he's not. He's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to beating the better teams in the NFL, the teams you're gonna have to beat when you're in the playoffs, he's just not doing it. And I don't know what else y'all want to make an excuse for. And then you get rid of his number 1 receiver, Amari Cooper, this offseason. Now, I love my boy CD Lamb. OU boy, he's a dog. But now he the number 1, and he going to have all the attention on him. So what happens when he's locked up? They got Michael Gallup, who returning from ACL. They who did they draft? They drafted some receiver, Jalen Tolbert out of South Alabama. He's a decent pickup, but at the end of the day, Dak isn't turning any wide receivers into superstars.
No, he ain't no damn Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes. He ain't none of them guys. He's a he's a black version of Kirk Cousins.
Sad but true.
That's my opinion on Dak Prescott. He's a black version of Kirk Cousins, and these guys. I remember one of my friends. I'm gonna name drop him. Cam Davis. He wanted to always. Man. He wanted to always say Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback. I'm like, he was trying to say that he's just as good as my boy, my used to be boy Deshaun Watson. I'm like. No. He tried to bring up the stats and everything. I'm like, the stats it's not a great Dak Prescott had one great year.
And that was the year that nobody knew about him because Tony Romo got hurt.
Exactly.
And regardless, they had that great year and then lost immediately in the playoffs. Still. Dak Prescott, the only thing he's the best at is putting up numbers when they down 15 plus going into the fourth quarter. So they just say, hey, we're going to throw it every play. And then he start stacking up on the stats. Exactly. And they still find a way to lose.
That's the only reason his stats be looking good.
And another hot take. I mean, Trevon Diggs, nice. Don't get me wrong. But he finishes with probably 6 or less interceptions this year. Last year was an amazing year. No, like there's no doubt or there's no disputing that.
Where my cap at? Cap.
No.
Cap. All that shit was cap, man. No. All that shit was cap, man. All that shit was cap.
Michael Parsons, he's a dog for sure, but
he's a dog. He's a dog.
Diggs not repeating that.
No.
They still really ain't got a defense that could just stop people for real. I mean, there was a decent defense, but that's dependent on Diggs putting up them same numbers that he did because he came up with some key interceptions and some key moments in them games.
It's like he's getting all these interceptions, but
he's still getting burned.
He's getting destroyed. He's getting destroyed by every receiver.
That's why I couldn't knock people. Oh, well, he getting interceptions. He good. Yeah, he good. But don't sit up here and try to tell me he's the best cornerback in the league.
No,
it don't matter if you get 10 interceptions, but you giving up 1,000 yards receiving. Like,
he was. What's that guy's name from the Ravens? He used to play for y'all. Forgot his name. The
Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters.
Yes, he's a prototype of Marcus Peters. He's legit. He's a ball hog. That's all he is. But he's going. Marcus Peters. Sometimes he gets burnt, but he don't be getting burnt like Trevon Diggs. Trevon Diggs
getting burnt.
Man, definitely. What is that? It was that I think was they in the playoffs game last year, something like that. Versus the 49ers. One of them games or whatever. I believe it was against the 49ers, and I got that receiver name, not Debo, but the other one.
I think you're talking about the draft pick a couple years ago from Arizona State.
Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk. Yeah.
He was killing Trevon Diggs. I'm like, is nobody seeing this? Like he murdered Trevon Diggs on a couple of routes, and I was like, he's not that guy.
Yeah, he's not. And then, like I said, they get rid of on the other side. They get rid of their number 1 receiver. CD definitely can step up, but now they really only got CD. Gallup when he come back. Yeah, they lost Cedric Wilson too. They still won't put what's his name, Pollard over Elliott for whatever reason, because I guess they gave Elliott that money, so he got to run. Now I will say, Cowboys got to be the dumbest team because literally the proof is right there in the facts. Dak is 7-13 versus the playoff teams, but when Zeke runs over 100 yards, they 26-4. So if you know that, why are you not trying to build a team that can run the football? That way, Dak don't have to win the games for you. I don't get it. But year in, year out, they supposed to go to Super Bowl, and it's like y'all won't even do the shit that makes sense for you. So why would y'all even think this year is going to be any different than the last year or the year before that?
Dak Prescott should be a game manager. He's good at least controlling the ball, but it's like when he's throwing a lot, you're not gonna win with him throwing 50 times a game or 40 times a game. You're not gonna win with Dak Prescott doing that.
I'm sorry to say, I'll give him his props. He the one guy who was able to get a paycheck out of Jerry, but he probably gonna be the last guy because he not winning, and Jerry definitely regretting that decision day by day. And after this year, he really gonna be regretting, and I think they're gonna be looking for a new quarterback or looking to trade Dak while he still got some value. Because I really believe they finished 3rd or 4th place. I'm saying a hot take. They finished last, just to mess with Cowboys fans a little bit.
Hot take,
but 3rd or 4th at best. I don't see them producing like they did last year. They got worse on the offensive end. Not to mention, just came out the other day, Dalton Schultz. They got rid of Blake Jarwin. Dalton Schultz trying to renegotiate his contract, not going for it. So he's not even showing up for voluntary OTAs. Probably won't report to training camp to start off with. So
I don't know why he trying to get a new deal. He dropped so many goddamn footballs. Every time watching, he dropping a football, but he does come back around and catch one and score for a touchdown. So I mean, I don't know, man. How about them Cowboys? That's all I gotta say.
How about them Cowboys, man?
I think my Texans actually played them this year too. So
yeah, they do. They do.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
I want to say it's in Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
It's
in Dallas. Okay, it's in Dallas. Man, if y'all beat them, that's gonna be funny as hell.
Well, I'm gonna talk my shit, boy.
And just one last little fact before we end the NFC East discussions, because I know by this point, if there's any Cowboys fans still listening, they really pissed and like, man, Dak is that guy. I don't care what you say, man. Listen, 7-13, like I said, when they do play those playoff teams in those 19 games where he's 7-13, QBR drops to 82.6%, 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. That's not getting it done if you want to win a Super Bowl. Unless you have the best defense in the NFL, and when I say best defense, I'm talking about 2000 Ravens, where they was able to win a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. That's the type of defense you're going to need if you want to win with Dak Prescott at QB. And they're going to be like, oh, I mean, we almost beat the Buccaneers last year. Like, y'all almost beat them in the first game of the season. The year they coming off a Super Bowl win. They riding a high on that game. That don't count for shit. If y'all would have seen them in the playoffs, it would have been lights out. But y'all didn't get the opportunity because y'all lost to Jimmy G, who we finna talk about, in the 49ers, because y'all wanted to run a fucking QB sneak with 14 seconds left, man.
Some stupid shit. But no, the Cowboys are the other team. Why not pick up Julio Jones?
That's gonna be the title of this podcast. NFC / why is nobody picking up Julio Jones? Because it's plenty of teams that can use him. I don't care if he's even half of what he used to be. Half of what Julio Jones used to be is better than a lot of receivers in today's league, man. And they're going to need another option to throw to. I'm telling y'all, Dallas fans, y'all going to be upset when CD getting all the attention and nobody else getting open on that team and Dak running for his life. It's going to be scary, man. 3rd or 4th place finish. You heard it here first. I Needed Sports. Lock it in, man.
I like that. Lock that shit in. I need it.
I need it. And man, last but not least, NFC West. Arguably, it was the best division of football last year.
It's the second now.
Taking now to the AFC West and the departure of Russell Wilson and all that, man. So we can start with his former team, Seattle Seahawks, man. Now, if you remember earlier when I was saying a team who probably tanking for Bryce Young,
I can see that now.
They lose Russell Wilson. Don't trade up. Got some top picks in this draft. Don't pick any quarterback. And it's like, they're okay with Drew Lock or Geno Smith? No. What they did is they went and got offensive linemen in the draft because, as you know, you can't have no franchise quarterback if you ain't got no line to protect him. Mm-hmm. So they went out, got those pieces, drafted another running back. And let me just touch back on the offensive line because just to speak on that, they get offensive tackle from Mississippi State at Conwoo. It was him, Neal, and Cross from Mississippi State. They were the top 3 offensive linemen in this year's draft class. And then the top 5 picks, everybody goes defense. And next thing you know, all 3 offensive linemen are sitting there. So you really can't go wrong with whoever you pick. So they take a Conwoo, first offensive lineman off the board. Scouts say he's violent. That's literally what his scouting report said. Violent. They said in his interview, if he had to describe himself, he a glass eater. So that's definitely a guy you want protecting your QB for years to come. So they definitely hit with that pick. Then they draft Ken Walker, the second out of Michigan State. Nice little running back because Rashad Penny been having injury problems. Chris Carson coming off offseason neck surgery. So, I mean, God knows if he'll be able to come back for real. And then after that, they drafted another offensive lineman in Abraham Lucas from Washington State. So they definitely putting in the pieces to go get that franchise quarterback next year. And then they didn't really take any receivers. So, I mean, they banking that DK going to resign. So I would assume next year they going to go heavy and try to get the best quarterback in the draft. And that's probably Bryce Young. So that's what I got. I feel like they about to tank this season, get another top pick, and Bryce Young, and they officially, moving on from the Russell Wilson era. But Drew Lock and Geno Smith, that's not cutting it, man.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not cutting. Now that you say that though, I can definitely see them tanking and drafting Bryce Young because I mean, looking at this, this shit is ass. I mean,
terrible.
A lot of people heard Chris Carson. I actually like Chris Carson, but he's banged up. DK's still banged up. So
I will say they did get a nice tight end and Noah Fant with the Russell Wilson trade. But again, nice. No real quarterback to get the ball to these receivers. So yeah,
I want to see what Geno can do though, because he wasn't that bad when Russ was out. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Geno Smith. So
yeah,
so I mean, that's gonna be interesting.
They for sure finishing in last place in the division again this year, no
Easily.
doubt about it. Unless some horrific injury happens to Kyler Murray, Stafford, or Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance, whoever playing for them. But it would be a miracle if Seattle gets third place in the NFC West this year. And then ain't really much to talk about more with them. We move on to Arizona. Got the Cardinals. Now, I'm pretty sure I mentioned last episode, and for sure, I am not a believer in Cliff Kingsbury. Another one of them college coaches who did not deserve to get promoted to NFL head coaching position. Dude does not know how to finish seasons at any level.
Oh man, and he's just he making Kyler look bad, and Kyler not a bad quarterback. But
Kyler is not a bad quarterback, and they stalling with. I mean, he says he's good. He's not worried about his future in Arizona. But I mean, like, man, just pay the man his money. That's y'all's quarterback. You're not gonna find nobody anytime soon with that talent. So just sign him. I don't know why teams BSing like Baltimore BSing Lamar. They BS Kyler. Just pay the man his money.
Exactly, because you're not about to let him walk away. So it's like it's kind of like they banking on him to get injured, so they don't have to pay him all that money.
Yeah,
which is kind of messed up. So
it is.
I don't know, man.
I think he has a solid year this year. If he's playing and not holding out, he says he's gonna be there. So I'm gonna take him for his word. But they got his boy from OU, Marquis Brown. Now I know
Yeah.
Marquis Brown, for all you Baltimore fans, they probably that man can't catch the ball. And I know he had his problems with drops. But at the same time, Marquis Brown is the number one reason why Kyler won the Heisman back in what was that 2018. That's his guy. And repairing with him, they're not gonna have D Hop because he's suspended for the first 6 games.
That shit was crazy.
But when they get D Hop back and Marquise Brown, and you got AJ Green, Rondell Moore, that's a nice wide receiver course for Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you can protect him so he can stand back there and throw it, move around a little bit.
Shit.
They should be able to make some noise. Zach Ertz, yeah, they got the pieces there. Now just pay Kyler Murray, man. Like,
just pay him.
Stop waiting. And while they at it, I mean, I would have personally got rid of Cliff Kingsbury already if I was the guy, but the GM. But they're gonna give him another shot. So if this year falls off and say they don't get Kyler Murray his contract extension and they don't do what they're supposed to this year, they better pick Kyler Murray over Cliff Kingsbury. Because if they pick Cliff Kingsbury over Kyler Murray, you already know what type of timing this is, man. Ain't no way. Look at me, man. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
There's no way they pick Cliff over I'm goddamn stuttering. Cliff over Kyler though, man. Goddamn, like there's really no way that I see no possible way that happened. There's no way. It can't happen, right?
The way it's going, I don't know, because they really don't want to pay him like he's not a top quarterback in the league. But for their sake, they better pay that man. They also on the offensive end, like we said last week, they lost Chase Edmonds to Miami, but they got Daryl Williams, he arguably could be running back 1 for some teams in the NFL. Was great running back 2 for my Chiefs for years. Sad to see him go. They got him, and they drafted Keontae Ingram out of USC in round 6, and that's great value for a running back pick because you really don't have to draft running backs that high anymore. He could come right in and be a second or third back, have some meaningful snaps on third down. So they have the offensive pieces there. Cliff Kingsbury is supposed to be an offensive supermind, so do something with it. Because these last 2 years, unacceptable. But
they think they think he like Kyle Shanahan or like a Sean McVay, and he's not one of those guys. They think he like an Andy Reid. They got him out here running a college offense in the NFL. It's like, okay, just let them do that.
Let them do it. Let them do what they do.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they'll realize it.
But they got
and then they also having contract problems with their starting center, Rodney Hudson. So not only they having problems with the quarterback, they having problems with his number 1 lineman, the guy who gives him the ball. So Arizona, if you listen to this podcast, pay your players, man. So y'all can get right. Y'all have everything y'all need there. But as a Chiefs fan, I'm not gonna lie. I'm enjoying that they having these problems because we played them week 1. I'm hoping they don't get some of this stuff sorted out so we can just walk into Arizona and get them out the way real quick. But they on the defensive side of the ball, they had some cornerback depth through the draft, picked up 2 cornerbacks there. Also signed veteran Josh Jackson. Have to replace Jeff Gladney, who tragically died this past offseason. Prayers up to him and his family. That's sad. Yeah. Dude out of TCU. He was a dog. But hey, man, Lord called him to be with him. So they lose him tragically. Like I said, they got these 3 players in the draft. Still got Buda Baker on the back end. J.J. Watt, I mean, at this point in his career, it's more likely that J.J. Watt won't be healthy the full season than he will be. So take what you want with that. But they definitely, I feel like if they take care of business like they're supposed to, they should finish second this year in the NFC West.
I can definitely see it. They have a really nice squad, and I mean, I don't. Cause I guess I'm assuming you think like maybe the 49ers probably be second or third.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got 49ers third. I was gonna touch on them next. I think they drop off this year.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. Yeah, I see Arizona at 2. I see them at 2 also. I mean, they could push for 1. You never know if they can finally complete a full season of football. Everyone stay healthy, and if Cliff can
Call the
get
right
this,
plays.
call the right plays, do the right thing. Never know. Maybe. So I don't know. We'll see.
And then on to who we just mentioned, the 49ers. Reason I got them finishing third is they got a lot of problems this offseason.
Yeah.
Obviously, Trey Lance is not the guy, at least not yet, that they think he could potentially be. Because if he was the guy, you get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo for sure this offseason, no doubt about it. But they kept Jimmy G, which if they would have traded or released Jimmy G, they could have created $25 million cap space. That could have helped them re-sign Debo to whatever contract he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But because they keep Jimmy G, which I'm not knocking Jimmy G, he's obviously a winner, despite I think not being even a top 12 QB in the league. But he gets them there in the playoffs. They were a couple plays away from beating the Rams, and they've been beating them for years with him. So can't knock him there. But they don't trade or release him. So Jimmy G's still there. And, all the offseason talk was what they going to do, trade him. Is it Trey Lance time? So obviously there's all that talk in the locker room. Debo is now holding out because he's seen what Devontae and Tyreek got, what Christian and Kirk got. And he's like, man, y'all going to use me at running back and receiver and not pay me the money I deserve? Pay the players, man. Get them the money they deserve. Like Debo was a major part of their offense.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose that, or even if there's tension there, that takes away from the firepower that they got. So,
I mean, I seen a report. He said he don't want that role. Like he don't want the wide back role. He said I guess it's maybe too dangerous for him. Maybe he don't want to get hurt. Or
running backs careers be short in this league. There's only so much you can take running through the tackles and getting hit by 300-pound men and them just laying on top of you. Mm-hmm. So I understand where he's coming from. Put him back out wide where he best. Maybe run him on a few jet sweeps here and there, but he's not a tailback.
Yeah,
But if y'all gonna make him tailback, pay him.
Yeah,
like
pay
he
him
a tailback and wide receiver. Like it is what it is. But I think they tried to, with the whole Debo situation, I think they tried to combat that with the draft. They take Tyrion Davis-Price, running back out of LSU, big guy, kind of a power back. So hopefully, they don't have to have Debo playing backup running back. And, which it don't matter what running back they have. In Kyle Shanahan's system,
they're gonna run.
He gonna make something work. They gonna run that ball.
It's gonna be perfect. I mean, I've never seen a run offense run that perfectly, like ever. I mean, these guys, the way he could just call up run plays and make it just look like effortless. And then also they got that boy George Kittle. He's like another lineman out there blocking.
Look, if they would have just ran the football in the Super Bowl, Chiefs probably don't have a Super Bowl win.
Exactly.
No, they wanted to throw it with Jimmy G, and I thank them every day for that because, man,
I still couldn't believe that they just at the end they just put the ball in Jimmy G hands and he overthrew whoever that was going deep. What was that? I think it might have been
It was Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah,
yep.
He overthrew him. I was like, he was wide open.
And I want to say he was going deep on a guy they just signed this year from us, free agent quarterback Travis Ward.
Yeah,
which he's a nice pickup, but I mean when he goes up against one of them true number one wide receivers, it's just gonna be some times 49ers fans where y'all just gonna be like, he's in perfect position to deflect, intercept, whatever you want to say. And somehow, some way, the receiver still ends up with the ball, and you just be like, dude, how can you be in perfect position and someone like Jamar Chase just taking the ball from you? Like, just knock it down or go catch it.
Yeah.
They lose Tart, so, I mean, kind of lose one, gain another, but defense, they lost a couple pieces. Offense, they got turmoil because, like I said, obviously, Trey Lance didn't show enough to the point where they're confident in him being quarterback one.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G wins games for them, but there's still, that fly in the room that's saying he can't win them the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of turmoil in San Fran, man. I think they fall down to third this year.
I can definitely see that. Like you said, I mean, they got a lot of shit going on. Definitely with Debo. I mean, if Debo doesn't want to play that role, they got another guy in Brandon Ayuk. He can literally play that role. He just the same exact player as Debo, in my opinion.
And I was gonna say, they actually forgot to mention they drafted Danny Gray out of SMU.
Yeah.
We're in a 4.33 40. Now he's not Debo, but I mean that's probably another pick they make in the draft, knowing like, hey, Debo's probably out of there holding out because we're not gonna pay him the money that he wants. So they try to go get guys on those rookie deals to replace that in different positions. So like I said, they got the running back, got a wide receiver, kind of break up some of them Debo touches, man. And if Debo not touching the ball, if he do play, that's gonna be even more of a problem. So yeah, I think Debo's done in San Francisco, and that might just be the kind of domino that just starts the whole effect down the line, man.
Yeah.
Because they also lost 2 starting offensive linemen. So as good as Shanahan's run scheme is, that might hurt the run game as well too. So
yeah,
I think it's gonna be a tough time for San Francisco this year.
Yeah, I can see it, man. I can see it.
Yeah. And last but not least, we got the defending Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams, aka cap space doesn't exist
The
in LA.
Get richer.
The rich get richer, man. I mean, I'm no NFL cap expert, but man, what the hell do they have going on in LA? Everybody getting paid.
Everybody, you get millions. You get millions.
You get a max deal. You get a max deal, man. They lose Von Miller. They signed Bobby Wagner. They 5 year, $50 million. Aaron Donald talking about, I might retire. I got me a Super Bowl if they don't want to pay me what I'm deserved. Which I mean, Aaron Donald's slowly getting up there to. I got him as second best defensive player of all time behind Lawrence Taylor now, just the way he wrecks a game plan. And the fact you really got to use like 3 linemen to block him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That guy's, me personally, he might be the best. I don't know. That's hard to say.
That's what I could make the argument. I sometimes want to put him up there, but I'll be listening to some of the old heads sometimes. Lawrence Taylor. I went back and watched the tape on Lawrence Taylor. Like I get it. That man was a dog in his own right, but Aaron Donald playing defensive the nose tackle position, like, and he's that much of a wrecking crew by himself. That's different.
That's a big man too, man.
Man, strong as hell. You get hit with one of his jabs, man. He be knocking off his lot. He knocked 300-pound men back with one arm. Like, you know how much strength that take? Dude trades in the offseason with knives. I want 0 problems with Aaron Donald. I know when the Rams re-signed him, I know all quarterbacks and offensive linemen in the league were like, fuck. Like, thought we were going to get lucky and this guy was going to be done with. But no, they offer him $65 million guaranteed, $95 million through the 2024 season. And they signed Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, LA owner has no problem with dipping in that luxury tax. He got money.
Doesn't care at all.
When you got money, you can do what you want. And that's what I've learned in anything in life. When you got money, you can do what you want.
Money solves everything, goddamn. It will solve all your problems.
And money is solving all their problems.
Exactly.
They couldn't win the Super Bowl with Goff, went and got Stafford immediately, Super Bowl. And I mean, him and Kupp, as long as they both stay healthy, nothing's happening to that connection. They do lose Robert Woods, but like we said, they get Allen Robinson. There's still some possible chance OBJ might come back to them when he's finally healthy. Like, if there was any team that was built to repeat, it may be even better, it's them. Like, they really went and added more pieces. The most notable loss they have is Andrew Whitworth to retirement. But they had his replacement this whole time in Joseph Noteboom, who was his backup all these years, and he would play when Whitworth was injured, and he was his understudy. So they probably not gonna fall off at all from that standpoint. So I got them repeating as winning the West. I don't know who's gonna stop them out there. I wouldn't put faith in Arizona because at the end of the day, Sean McVay over Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh yeah.
Matthew Stafford over Kyler Murray, even though I like Kyler Murray. Unless they have injuries derail them, which could happen because it's the NFL, it's football, it's a very cutthroat sport. But if they stay relatively healthy, I don't see any problem with them repeating as NFC West champions. And probably the NFC going through them through the playoffs. So
most likely, yeah. Well, they got Cam Akers back for a full year now. He's a dog. Got Daryl Henderson.
Except for when I thought he was finna give Tom Brady that divisional game, boy. Because I just saw it coming. After he fumbled, what he fumbled 2 or 3 times, we would have had to listen. Oh man, Brady's just the GOAT. He just engineered comebacks like Akers wasn't trying to hand them the game. Yeah.
That would have he did fumble about like 2 or 3 times.
Yes, and one of the times it was right there at the goal line where they was about to go up by like 30, and that's what changed the whole course of the game right there when he made that fumble. And I was like, bro, no way you're trying to give Tom Brady a chance. Like, come on.
And shit, Brady almost did it too. So
he did. Thank God Stafford found Cup on that deep ball, man. Would have had to listen.
Like shit, like you said though. I mean, all it takes is one injury. Other than that, I mean, I see no reason why they don't repeat in the West, and why not everything come through them in the NFC. I mean, these guys are amazing, man. Aaron Donald came back. Like you said, I know guys hated that when he came back. Fuck, this guy came back. I thought this motherfucker.
I gotta block him again, like
fucking Thanos gotta block Thanos over here. Shit, this big strong ass, but no, man, they just keep getting good. Him, Stafford and Cup. I was gonna ask you think Stafford finally of a Hall of Fame quarterback?
I mean,
he got his ring. I mean, what else?
He do got the ring. He got the stats. I mean, I don't even think if he hasn't solidified it, probably a couple more years in LA, and he don't even necessarily have to win a Super Bowl again, but just a few more years of putting up some more good numbers, just solidify like, hey, he did in Detroit, the worst franchise, one of the worst franchises in NFL history, did it with LA, won a Super Bowl. But, I mean, I think he solidified his Hall of Fame career. I mean, he played with arguably the best wide receiver of all time in Calvin Johnson. Then was putting up numbers and
crazy numbers
in Detroit, even though they weren't doing anything year in, year out. And then to come to a new team first year, even though obviously this is the best team money can buy, literally. But I mean, hey, you still got to go out there and win the Super Bowl. And boys got nuts. I'll say that. To make that no-look pass, the Cup with the Super Bowl on the line, that's the only other person I think would try that shit in the Super Bowl is Pat.
Pat Mahomes, yeah.
And when Stafford did that's probably the coldest pass in Super Bowl history, man. To pull that off with the stakes like that. But yeah, I personally think he solidified Hall of Fame, but a few more years of some good numbers, and then I don't think anybody could doubt or have any say so that he's not Hall of Fame. But he Hall of Fame in my book.
Man, it's all subject, but I just remember that pass that Pat had in the Super Bowl. He damn near on the ground. And he's like throwing the ball up. It was literally a perfect pass too, and it
hit Daryl Williams. It hit Daryl Williams in his face mask, bro. And they gonna talk about Patrick Mahomes choked that game. Like, man was running for his life the literal whole game. Because man, just Tom Brady's luck. 2 of our starting offensive linemen are out.
Crazy, huh?
We playing with a whole shuffle of offensive linemen in places they don't play. And he was literally faced the most QB pressures in NFL history in the Super Bowl. And then, as you said, he throws it damn near on the ground, still catch a ball, receiver drops it.
That's one of the crazy, like, I know we off subject again, but that's legit probably the craziest pass I've ever seen in my life. Because it was literally a perfect pass,
and he's literally parallel with the ground, 1 inch
Literally.
from being down, and he flings it.
Literally. But hey,
people's eye test is telling them, oh no, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, they're the best young quarterbacks. Josh Allen, they're all better than Mahomes. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Just doesn't make sense, man.
Come on, man. Until someone else takes it from him, that's the best quarterback. Really the best quarterback in the league, I think. They came out with some top 10 rankings the other day, and it had Aaron Rodgers at 1. So I get it because he's the reigning MVP, but time and time again, he fails in the playoffs. And Mahomes performs. Like, I get he had his worst playoff game last year in the AFC Championship, but for the past 4 years, that's 4 AFC championships in a row. What more do you want? One Super Bowl MVP. Like, come on, man.
Look, I'm not even a Chiefs fan, and I'm about to say some wild shit. But Pat Mahomes is literally the best football player I've ever seen in my entire life. I swear to God, bro. Like the things this man could do on the football field
don't make no sense. Like, it should be possible, but he's doing it.
And it should be obvious that everyone should see this. This man is the best football player I've ever seen. He beats Tom Brady. He beats Aaron Rodgers. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. He beats Aaron Rodgers. He beats whoever else you want to put up against Brett Favre. Any of these other guys, man. I mean, this guy, he's simply amazing.
It's the Steph Curry effect. Like, he doing some stuff people never really seen, and because they never seen it and don't necessarily understand it, they hate it.
They hate on it, yeah.
But he's changing the game. It's going to be nothing but quarterbacks running left, throwing right, all gadget, the next generation.
Gadget receivers. You already see everybody going to the gadget receivers nowadays because of him and Andy Reid, how they switched up everything. But I think Andy Reid he used to always have gadget receivers.
He's always had a couple gadget plays up his sleeve. One of the best gadget play callers in league history, if not the best. But shoot, look, that was a little sneak peek, man. Next episode, we probably gonna do best positions, starting off with quarterback for this upcoming season. But as you already know, y'all know who we have number 1. We agree on that one.
We agree on that one already.
We agree on that one for sure. But that wraps up episode number 2, man, of I Needed Sports Podcast. My host Kim, coming through, another banger. Cover the NFC. Like I said, we got best top positions in the NFL for the upcoming season next. But got the AFC, NFC wrapped up. Got one more month till football season come back, man. I can't wait. Give us something to talk about for real, instead of just the what ifs and what could happen. We really finna have football back. It's gonna
be man. We're gonna have these bets ready on deck.
We're gonna have all the picks you need. You need it. We got it. Lock that shit in, man. It's your boy Bryce.
Yes, sir.
Cam. I Needed Sports. Log it out, man.